Hello, hello. So I'm going to start doing my lives again, if possible, at 6 p.m. every Sunday. So trying to get for the last term of the year some routine and consistency in my videos. So yes, let's start what is going to happen this week. So we had an awesome day today. And today I actually went out with my son. I ended up going to Dreamworld. They're doing a very cheap price for the moment. And anyway, that was really funny because as I was going back there and enjoying, I said Venus and Uranus, the planet of surprises, was very well aspected. So I had an awesome day catching up with him, which was great. It's very rare I can have a one-on-one with one of my child, having two of them. And as I was going back, I was actually going to a place where he used to love pies. And as we are sitting down, I said, well, you know what, this is your first pie. The first time you had a pie in Australia was when you were 2.5, when we came here on holidays. And this was your first crocodile that you saw. And here I came on holidays in 1999 with your dad. And when I was up there on that big tower, I could actually see where we live now. And suddenly I just stopped, and it was like going back into the past. It was huge when you just stop and you realize in 20 or 21 years what you have achieved, what you have done. And now having my beautiful twins and my career and what I've done, and now living here in Australia. So suddenly I was like, yes, we are definitely in the shadow of Mercury retrograde. It definitely is in Scorpio, going deep to who we are and what matters in life and who we really are as a person, and seeing the evolution and not being able to hide from what we have done or what we have achieved in life. So it was really awesome, and him obviously discovering all those things and remembering all those things. He could remember things, and because we haven't been there for years, everybody prefers, well, the young teenager prefers to go to movie world usually as kids. They just meet there. So anyway, it was really awesome. So I can tell you one thing, Mercury retrograde has already started because there were too many signs the way it was, but it was awesome. So it's good sometimes to have those kind of reminders of how much you have achieved in life and what you have done. Now let's talk about this week. I wish I could tell you that everything was awesome like today. I'm not. Remember, we are in Libra. We have the Venusian and the Saturnian aspect. So some days are good, some days not so good, okay? That's pretty much where we are. And it is to understand that we can appreciate things and that can be awesome, but also that, you know, there's the yin and the yang, and that is pretty much Libra. And also there's a lot of transformation that are going to happen. We are starting now into the transforming time. Yes, 2020 has transformed us big time. That you succeeded in business or not doesn't matter. It's a year where we have all learned a lot. I've never learned as much as I've learned this year, by the way, that it is yes, about mentoring people, learning about people even more, because, you know, you create a deeper connection with the people that you look after. And yes, a lot of things that I have learned about people this year, and transforming, and everyone has been the same, that we wanted it or not. With what was happening into the world, we had to transform and we had to adapt either way. So, but the real transformation is going to happen now, because now with Mercury retrograde, we are going to have to do that, especially the Scorpio coming. So it's going to go really deep down on who you are, what is the person, the essence of who you are. Like, it's almost taking all the layers of pretending, of, you know, things that we can hide behind. You won't be able to hide. With Scorpio, Mercury retrograde is back to yourself. All the things, you know, hiding, there's no more of that. It's almost naked, you know. It's like, okay, who am I really? What do I want to do? What do I want to achieve? Who am I deep down? What is my essence? What do I want to bring to the world? And that's pretty much how deep you are going to go. And the universe is going to force you to do that because remember, we are going to have Jupiter into Aquarius, which is all about belonging to the universe and doing what you are meant to be doing into this world. So to make sure that you are doing that you are transforming, that's where it's going to take us. And the world is also going to transform. We are up to some transformation, especially when we will be in November. So be ready. We are not done with 2020. That's where there's going to be quite a few things that are going to happen. Even at the end of the year, we've got some really big events coming up with the stars. How can I say that? Yes, meetings with the planets. That's going to be huge. But let's talk about this week because we've got a couple of them that are quite important as well. So today was awesome. And it's still going to be a little bit shiny, I should say, maybe in the morning, but straight up we are going to have after that during the day the sun that is going to be square Jupiter, and that obviously is going to create problems because the sun is the self and square Jupiter, luck and expansion. That's not going to be so much fun. Okay, so tomorrow please avoid any important discussions. Do not sign any papers. Like you are going to feel almost like wanting to be generous on one side and Jupiter wanting to give, wanting to do, wanting to promise, but to the point of being opposite to yourself. So it's almost like wanting to do things but that are not good for yourself. So that's a day I would really avoid talking. I would avoid making promises. I would avoid signing any papers. I would avoid doing anything because when the sun, the self, is square Jupiter, it's not going to bring you luck. It's not going to take you where you want to go. So a day you just want to be kind of saying, doing what you've got to do. Do not promise anything. Do not have important conversation. That's not going to take you as a person anywhere where you are supposed to be going. So don't do that. Then after that, on Tuesday, on the 13th, we're going to have Jupiter that is going to be sextile Neptune. So that day is an awesome day. We are going to have it's actually a very good aspect of 2020. It's a very big feature of, it's going to be very good to develop, to be creative, to have some potential ideas that can bring profit. So that is going to be awesome because it is linked also, not only there's Jupiter sextile Neptune, which is in Capricorn and in Pisces, and that is long term, having ideas and thinking of different, I would say ideas or creativity that is going to be exponential with Jupiter. And we also have Mercury that is going to be sextile Venus in Scorpio Virgo. They're going actually very, very well. So it's going to be a really good time, a good influence. It's going to be easy for you to articulate, to express yourself. The others are going to be receptive, so that's great. And it is going to be a beautiful day. And then we go back again. On the 14th, we go onto the sun that is going to be opposed Mars. So not so good. Again, the self that is opposed, the planet of action and moving forwards. There's going to be competition. There's going to be, it's going to be too much. Like it's almost like people are going to want to fight to get things, but then because there's going to be the self that is opposed to action, it's just not going to work in your favor. So again, a day I would really keep quiet on that day because the sun is the self, Mars is action, and it can also be competition. So that's pretty much a day you're like, okay, I definitely don't want to be talking, with people that you are working with or things like that because it just might fire up and create problems. So for the moment, Tuesday is good. The other days, try to avoid any kind of important conversation. I really mean it because the sun square Jupiter or the sun opposed Mars, they're not good. They're not good days. Then, so that was the 14th. Then Thursday, it's nice and quiet, no problems. We are recovering from all that. Then after that, on the Friday, 16th, we have the sun that is again square Pluto. So that depends where you are. And by the way, a lot of people ask me, but if we are in the States, if you are United States, you are one day before. And the dates are the same, but one day before. So, just for you to understand. So, Yeah, the stars are the same, but just one day before. So on Friday, the sun is square Pluto, so in Libra Capricorn. So again, there's going to be pressure. It's people might ask you favor, and you might feel like a sacrifice. It might be hard again. So wait, just wait to make decisions or to do promises and things like that. Again, that's a day to avoid, in fact, at the end of the day. And then we've got a new moon, and I wish I could say it is a good new moon, but it's not. It's a new moon that is in Libra. And of course, sorry, before I go further down that track, just remember that also on the 14th for us in Australia, we've got Mercury that will turn retrograde. So from that point, nothing new if it's possible. Try to rest, to recharge, to reorganize, to reassess, to finish what you've started, to reconnect with the past, to go back to places where you've already been. But in fact, during the Mercury retrograde, nothing new. And we are in Mercury retrograde until, if I remember right, until the 4th of November. But at the end of the day, just give it a few days before you start anything new. Always wait for 3 or 4 days. So I wouldn't do anything new before the 7th of November or something like that. So yes, only things, all clients that you want to reconnect, things to do with the past, no new things, cleaning up, reorganizing, all that you can, finish your project, but definitely not a time where you want to start something new, because it just won't work, it just won't take you where you want, so there's no point trying to do that. It might actually create problems, more problems than anything else. And then we are going to have on the Saturday for us in Australia a new moon in Libra, which is going to be quite a full-on one. So do not do any projects again. At the end of the day, we are lucky that it's happening with Mercury retrograde, because normally a new moon, I always say, let's do some projects. Well, this one is a bad one. And because we are not doing any projects, at least at the end of the day, it's better like that. No regrets in that sense. But it might make things a little bit full-on. So, yes, you don't want to be starting anything, even trying in a conversation to say that you are going to modify certain things. Even if you were going back to the past, it won't be a good time to start even new things, you know, in the relationship, because there's going to be a square. Actually, there's going to be quite a few. There is a challenge with Mars. Mars is challenging the new moon. There is a square with Saturn, with Pluto, with Jupiter. And if that was not enough, we also have Mercury that is going to be opposed Uranus. So it's going to be really that day, and I will say even the 2 days following, do not make any commitments that it is verbally, that it is in writing. You don't want to be sorting any problems that are difficult, and you really want to be avoiding even traveling, by the way. If you can avoid being on the road on that day, I don't say that often, but on that day, on Saturday, the 16th, I will definitely avoid. Saturday the 17th, I will definitely avoid. And even actually on the 18th, it's not really a weekend to go away, actually, to be honest, because we also have another aspect after that. So Sunday is a bit quieter, but it's still so strong from that new moon with so many opposition. And then we also have the aspect on the Monday that are going to be the Sun square Saturn in Libra Capricorn. So again, it might be really overwhelming. So you don't want to be again doing anything new. There's on the top of that Venus opposed Neptune, might create problems with relationships. So you want to protect your feelings, you want to protect yourself. That's not all. By the way, we'll also have on that Monday Mars square Jupiter. So it's like projects or long-term projects that you've been wanting to do that might not be ready to take off. So all that, in other words, really saying, you know what, during those days, don't start anything new. Let it pass. I will more do some soul searching, because obviously we do have all that trying to block us. If the universe is trying to block us, it's really to say, well, you rest, you stop, you slow down, because you cannot have, you know, that many opposition like that. It's very rare, by the way, to have that many. It's really saying, you know what, we are in Mercury retrograde. Now you're going to slow down. You're going to take that time to reassess, to look after what you've done so far. And resting to make sure that after that, when we will move forwards, beginning in November, that you can go full speed. So that's pretty much what the universe is saying. If you could take some holidays even during that time, that would be perfect for the people who can rest. That's normally the time we should have the holidays, when we have Mercury retrograde, because it is made to rest. That's what the universe is doing, trying to say, okay, let's slow down and reassess and rest. But after all that, and remember, the universe tries to be fair, and we are still even next Monday, Tuesday in Libra. Well, suddenly on the Tuesday, we'll have an awesome day. So that brings us to the Tuesday 20th, where we are going to have Venus that is going to be trine Jupiter in Virgo Capricorn. So that is going to be beautiful. Venus is going to be supporting Jupiter and sparkle and romance and bringing fun. So yes, treat yourself on that day. Make sure on the Tuesday 20th that you go out. If you are in love, that's a good time to do a date with someone that you already know. Not a new date, please. It won't work. No point trying a new relationship unless you've already known each other. And you're keeping on going to what you've done, but not something new. I wouldn't start a new relationship at that time. And so that is going to be really sparkling, because it's going to bring surprises and good things. Now there must just be, because there is a little bit of an aspect, Mercury opposed Uranus, you might have a problem with your computers and stuff like that, which is quite normal already with Mercury retrograde. Mercury rules everything that is electronics and things like that. Also rules surgery. Don't have any surgery in Mercury retrograde if you can avoid it, unless it's an emergency, of course. But same goes with any kind of electronics. So especially around the 20th, you might have things breaking down. Get things fixed if you want in Mercury retrograde. Do not buy new electronics with Mercury retrograde, because again, you will have problems with them. And by the way, anything that you do buy, keep the docket, keep the ticket, the receipt when you are buying with Mercury retrograde, because most of the time you won't be happy with what you have bought. So don't buy anything expensive. Keep your docket, receipt, and make sure that you can change it. And if it is a present, same goes. Give them the receipt, because they might actually not enjoy the present and they might want to change it. Now, Christmas is around the corner. I think there's only 11 Mondays until Christmas. Wait that we are on the 4th, minimum the 4th, or the 7th will be even better, to do your Christmas shopping, unless you've already done so. And if you haven't, and if you want to do some, you can do some, especially on Tuesday this week, because as I said, there's some good stars on Tuesday. There were some good stars today, and Tuesday is awesome as well. I wouldn't go any further than that. I will wait, and I will wait around the 7th of November would be great. And then you can go. We're going to have an awesome Christmas, by the way. The stars are excellent at the end of this year, so that's great. Not so much for New Year's Eve, but definitely for Christmas. So, so New Year's Eve, I would do it at home. I would be careful this New Year Eve. I wouldn't drive. I would be aware of what I'm doing. But definitely, you can prepare Christmas. Christmas is going to be absolutely awesome. And yes, there's very, very good aspect in the stars for this Christmas coming up. That's it for this week. Up and down, start slowing down. Don't put yourself into any more pressure. Please do not do that. You want to be resting, because from the 7th of November, we are going to go into the best times of 2020 and 2021 until the end of January 2021. You want to be rested. You want to be ready to go full speed at that time. So you need to be careful of yourself now, to make sure that you are recharging, RE again, and to make sure that you will be ready to move. So you can keep on going until Tuesday, but from Tuesday, please start slowing down and take care of yourself. And one thing for sure is go deep into who you are, what you want to be doing into your life. And remember, what you want to be doing into your life is pretty much doable. Pretty much all the dreams that you have, you can actually make them happen. You just need to know where you want to go. And if you want to change your life and modify your life, that is the right time to do so, because the world is changing. And it's definitely not going to be the way it used to be. We are going to enter a new era on the 21st of December. So for the next 20 years. We're going to have some aspects that are going to be changing us. Every 20 years, we change. We change era. We were in the industrial era, and we're going to go into the digital era. So be ready for all those changes. So you can definitely make this new life happen. And if you have problems doing so, or if you want to know what to do, I'm doing a free masterclass on the 19th. I'm going to give heaps of tips. It's for free. And then after that, I will tell you how you can modify all that. That's it for today. Look after yourself. Make sure you are resting from Wednesday. And I shall see you next Sunday night. Bye. Thank you. Bye.